Hello and Happy New Year. I hope you've gotten 2015 off to an amazing start. But if there's something you're still trying to achieve, maybe something that's been eluding you for a while, I'd like to just ask you a few questions and make a few suggestions that might help make this 2015 a much better year for you. So, what do you want? It's a very simple question, and there's lots of things that people have in their mind that they want at this time of year. I get a huge amount of people coming into clinic to see me, and straight away they are saying things like, I want to lose weight, or I want to get myself sorted and get a qualification, or I want to move jobs, or I want to have more confidence, or I want to give up smoking. There's an enormous amount of stuff that we want to change. And for some reason we seem to think January is the only time of the year where we can actually change. You know, if it wasn't a problem in November, if it wasn't a problem in July, is it really a problem now? I want you to think about whether you're actually motivated to do something differently, whether you're motivated to really make a change, or whether this is just a January silly season of, yeah, all my friends are telling me what they're doing differently, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to do something differently this year too. So here's my token effort, New Year's fail-olution. I'm just going to give it a go for a week or two, pack it in and not say anything more about it. Perhaps that sounds like you. I certainly used to do that in my day. But I want you to start thinking about what you actually really want. And I want you to take it a step further than just, I want to lose weight or I want to be more confident. I want you to think, what do you want at the end of that? What is it you're going to feel like at the end of that? Is it going to make a difference in your life? A lot of people put too much emphasis on, if I lose the weight, then I'll be happy. If I get a new job, then I'll be happy. Will you really? When you think about whether it's actually going to make a difference for you, whatever your goal is. If you've got a number of goals, I'd like to suggest pick one. Achieve one, then look at the others. Enormously, we do way better if we go with one thing, get that done and out of the way, then do the next thing. If we try and do multiple things in life at the one time, we're less successful. So if I think about what it is that you want, and have a think about why you want it, what will it deliver for you in life, and are you sure it will deliver what you're expecting? I see so many people who have lost weight and are still coming in and going, I'm just worried and stressed and unhappy. I don't know why. I thought when I lost the weight that that's where I'd be happy, but I'm not. So have a think about, why do you want whatever it is that's your goal? This is a big one for me. How long have you been trying this? Because for an awful lot of people, we just keep doing the same thing in the same way and it doesn't work. But you know what? The following January, we're back to doing it the same way. I've had clients come in who've been over 20 years going to a certain weight loss program. That they've done this every year for over 20 years, and they say things like, I thought maybe eventually it would stick. I've had people who've come in and they've bought a gym membership every year for years. Usually about 500 euros, 600 euros a year for the gym membership, and year after year they go for a week or two and they stop. But then they spend the money again the next year because it makes them feel like they're doing something. And they're thinking maybe it will stick. If you're waiting for it to stick, whatever it you're trying, you're wasting your time. It doesn't stick. You stick or you don't stick. The method isn't what actually changes you. The method is a tool that allows you to change yourself, but you have to do the changing. There is no method on the planet that does the changing for you. So I want you to consider, have you been doing the same thing repeatedly? If you have, I'd like to suggest what you really need to change is the method that you're trying. You need to do something different this year. Or you need to accept that maybe this isn't for you. But if you think the change is for you, you really need to sit back and just logically look, is there anything different this year about how I'm doing it? We often think, because we see a program that has a huge rate of success for somebody, that, well, it worked for Tom, or it worked for Mary, or it worked for James, or it worked for Anne, surely it's just a matter of time until it works for me. Not necessarily. The answer is, it was right for Tom and James and Anne. It may not be right for you. We often confuse the idea that a system or a method works with who does it work for. Because we're all different. We all have different motivations, different abilities, different pressures, different issues pushing our time even, that can change whether or not a method is going to be successful for us. But I really believe there is a method for everyone. When I was suffering chronic anxiety and depression, I very luckily found a method that was right for me. But I know for a lot of people, that isn't the method that's going to get them over those problems. So if you've been trying the same thing repeatedly, I would suggest you need to look at changing how you're trying to change. And if there was one message that I could give to people at the start of this year and really get into their minds and get into your mind, it is look at how you're trying to change. If you change that, that might be the missing step that makes the change possible for you. It's ridiculous when you think about it, 20-something years going to the same weight program every single year. You'd have to think the trial period was over, wouldn't you? But our brains are designed to put us into a comfort zone. This might not be working, but I'm familiar with it, therefore it's comfortable, therefore it feels right to some level in your mind. And we can very easily fall into that. I lived like that for decades when I was anxious and depressed, because I second-guessed everything that was going on, and I always assumed that it was something outside of me that was going to make the difference. I'd find the right program, I'd meet the right person. But really, I needed to change before my life changed. Now, we all often need help with these things, whether it's finding the personal trainer that'll be right for you, or finding an exercise program, or finding the person who can help you give up smoking, or finding the person who can help you lose weight, or the program that will help you lose weight, or maybe it's something more fundamental. Maybe it's just about finding your own confidence, getting over your self-doubt, overcoming your worry, overcoming that tendency to hold back and not act, and to sit there wishing and find that a year later you're still at the same point. But whatever you need to change, consider doing something different this year. Very different, I would say, if you've been repeatedly doing the same thing and it hasn't stuck. It won't stick. You will stick, or you will not stick. It's not the external program that changes you. What's stopping you? Now, I hear the same answers no matter what aspect of life I'm working in. When I work with people with chronic anxiety or people who have severe depression or have trauma holding them back, they never actually say those things. They say, I'm just lazy. I don't have the energy. I've no motivation. I need more confidence. When I work with people in business, even very successful people, and sometimes I'm working with people who have negotiated deals worth over 100 million euro, they actually say the same thing. There comes a point in life where they're holding back, they're not achieving what they want, but they don't say, I'm not making the connections or I'm not finding the people. They say, I just don't seem to have the motivation. You know, I get up and waste time on a Monday. I'm just kind of lazy. I feel that I just don't have the confidence to put myself out there the way I used to. I would suggest that what nearly all of us need to change is what's actually stopping us, rather than what we think the problem is. If you've been going to a weight loss program, as that very easy example, for many years, the problem isn't the weight loss. The problem probably isn't even the weight. The problem is something is stopping you from succeeding. Something is sapping your confidence and your motivation. Something is making you self-sabotage. And that's the same whether you're holding back from starting a new business, whether you're trying to lose weight, or in just about any other aspect of life. We hold back and we fail because a feeling makes us feel weak, it makes us feel down, it makes us feel that we can't succeed. And that's what robs us of our confidence and our ability. So I'd say if you've been doing the same thing repeatedly, it's not working for you, you want to have a look at, is there a program or a capacity or a person out there who can actually help you to gain control over that sabotage, over that lack of confidence. Because if that's there, if that's just draining you, if you go into a program and you know this isn't really going to work, then that's already predetermined the outcome. So I want you this year to start looking at what it is that you want to change, why you want to change it, whether there's a new way to change it, and most importantly, have a look at what's stopping you from succeeding. Because if you can change that, everything else can become easier. And that was really the case in my life. When I was suffering with such worry and anxiety, I was feeling so down, it was dragging me into depression, and I kept wondering why things didn't work for me. Always looking at what's the thing. That should somehow be fixing something for me. It's not working. Never realizing that I wasn't working. I wasn't really focused on it. I went into things knowing I was going to fail. So there was very little success that way. Finding what's stopping you, and it might even be a small thing, change that one thing and you can have an entirely different experience. Life can improve so much. What is it that you actually need to change? I would suggest it's the thing that's stopping you. It's not the problem that you're sort of looking at and thinking, I want to make this change in my life. If you've been at this for a while, it's the thing underneath that. It's the thing stopping you. So I want you to think about that and look for what's the best way forward for you in life. Because this is 2015. In 12 months' time, January 2016, I don't want to be here having the same conversation with you any more than you want to be sitting there listening to it in the same place. So what are you going to do differently? Change is easier than you think, but you've got to be aware that you need to change things, often very simple things, to get to where you want to go. If you just look at the goal and don't look at what's stopping you from reaching the goal, then you're probably missing a huge opportunity. So I want you to take this opportunity this year. I want you to grab it by both hands. I want you to ask yourself some really tough questions and look at what is holding you back. Because if you can find the answer to that, boy, will 2015 and 2016 and every year to follow be much different and much better. So have a wonderful start to the year. Continue that wonderful start through the year, and I look forward to a wonderful year myself and to hopefully getting some great feedback on how you've changed your year for the better. Thank you.